Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dan Daily. Today's topic is how to fix your credit rating. Now, before we jump in, why is this topic so important? For starters, if you want to do anything in the finance world and you don't have a bunch of cash just lying around in your bank, or you're not rich, well, banks look at your credit. If you want to get a car, they look at your credit. You want to buy a house, they look at your credit. Heck, in some cases, you want a job, and you guessed it, they look at your credit. So, having a good understanding of where you stand is financially important. So, having an understanding of where you stand financially is important. Now, there are 9 things we'll be going over today. Number 1, determine where you stand. 3 major reporting agencies are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. These are the big names you may have heard of already. You can get free reports once a year on annualcreditreport.com or directly from one of the major credit reporting agencies. Know how your score is calculated. There are 5 factors. Number 1, payment history, which is 35% of your FICO score and includes your history of repaying account debts. Number 2, credit utilization, which is 30% of your score and shows how much debt you carry in relation to your credit limit. Number 3, length of credit history, or credit age, which is 15% of your score and shows how long you've had active credit accounts. 4, type of credit, which is 10% of your score and shows the variety of your accounts. And lastly, credit inquiries, which is 10% of your score and shows the number of inquiries made to your credit profile. So, how or what do you do to fix your credit report? This is step 3. You can hire a company to do this for you, and in some cases it may warrant it, but I prefer the more financially cost-effective option. Now that you have your report and know which accounts on your credit report are responsible for your low score, you can get to work on the process of fixing the problems. You can dispute any errors with the credit bureaus. All 3 bureaus have options to be disputed online. If you prefer to call them, they also have that option. But I'll have the links down below for you to be able to click on and work on getting your credit reports fixed should you need to. You can dispute credit report errors yourself, but for some people, the process is stressful. So if you feel overwhelmed, you can hire a credit repair company or law firm. 4, you want to pay down your balances. So if you do have any credit cards with high balances, that's one key factor you want to work on. Now, since the credit score is heavily influenced by both your total debt and the proportion of your available credit you're using, a simple, maybe not as simple way to improve your credit score is to pay down your existing debt. This is particularly effective if you currently have credit cards with high utilization rates, which is the ratio of your credit card balance to your credit limit. Now, ideally, your utilization rate should be below 30%, both overall and for each revolving credit line that you have. Number 5, request a credit limit increase. Now, since your credit utilization rate is based both on your current balances and your total available credit, you don't necessarily need to pay down your balances to improve your rate. Instead, what you can do is you can request a credit limit increase from your creditors. I actually just did that because of my businesses, and I actually went ahead and increased one of my credit cards to a higher balance because my income had increased, and so did my expenses. So I actually had to increase my credit limit to have a higher ratio that I can use. And in more detail, if you have more credit available, your current debt will equal a smaller percentage of that available credit, thus improving your utilization rate. Now, if you do go this route, just make sure your creditor doesn't pull a hard inquiry to increase your limit because, well, that's one of the factors that will count against you as well. You want to make sure it's a soft check. 6, consolidate or refinance your debt. One of the reasons many consumers end up overwhelmed by credit card debt is the added cost from interest rates, which can rise above 30%, which is insane. If interest rates is the main issue for the debt, consolidating your credit card debts under one single lower interest loan may be the best option. Personal installment loans tend to be lower interest on the rates than most credit cards, with set monthly payments based on your rate and length of your loan. Another thing you can do is number 7 is to automate your payments. Make sure to have your credit cards paid in full each month if you're able to. This will save you on interest and shows the creditors that you're responsible, and this helps with the credit score. Now, the other thing you also want to keep in mind is you don't want to be charging anything to that plastic card if you're not going to be able to pay for it. Think of your plastic card as just a card to use for convenience instead of cash, and you're going to have to pay that back at the end of the month. So just keep that in mind as you pay your credit cards, or as you purchase any or make any purchases on your credit cards. 8, make more than one payment each month. Now, this might be a little more troublesome for some people, more than just making one payment as it is, but multiple payments can help and have multiple positive impacts to your credit score. So if you're able to, make multiple payments. And just to clarify, we're not talking about splitting up your total due into. Now, just to clarify, we're not talking about the minimum that is due at the end of the month. We're talking about multiple payments to make sure that you can actually pay off the full balance. And that will really positively impact the credit score. And lastly, create a focused plan and maintain it. Now, although this is not something that can be fixed overnight, it can be done with a plan and determination. If you need some guidance or want some other advice, shoot me a comment below. I read all my comments. Here's to a really good credit score for all my viewers, and I appreciate you watching this all the way to the end. And if you found any value, please hit the like button. It would mean a lot to me. And don't forget to subscribe for more financial tips and tricks. See you next time on Dan Daily.